Hello, and welcome again to 40 Uncomfortable Conversations. I am Lakeisha, and up until this point, we've talked about different processes to healing. And no matter where you go, no matter what you read, no matter who you talk to, all will admit that there are various stages. The first is usually like grief or denial, and that brings about some feelings of numbness. The next step would be anger, then bargaining, then depression, and then we begin to learn how to work through it, and then we get to the acceptance part. So today I would like to elaborate more on the emotional healing aspect. And when we tackle that, the first stage there is suffering. And when we talk about the suffering, it brings about like a feeling of helplessness and being overwhelmed with that emotional pain. And from an early age, we're taught to avoid that pain. But by doing so, we quickly learn that that causes us to alienate our authentic self, and it's not natural to want to suppress those things rather than just dealing with it. So, the first stage in dealing with that suffering is to embrace it, is to surrender to it. And when doing that, we want to make sure that we don't try to escape it at all, because it'll just cause us to go down this little downward spiral. And when we avoid that, it oftentimes comes back more intense. It comes back uninvited, and it will come back at the most inopportune times. So don't avoid it, embrace it. It'll be better off for you in the end. So don't fight it, surrender to it, and let it kind of envelop you, because even though you may feel a little despair with that encasement, just know that healing will be on the other side. And when you are starting to deal with that suffering, it's best to always be present without trying to justify, without trying to understand the who, the what, the when, the why. But you want to kind of merge yourself with the essence of that suffering and just give ourselves over to it. And it may not always make sense. It actually won't even probably feel rational to you. But if we don't go about learning how to feel it, we won't be able to get to the point where we can heal it. So I learned that not too long ago, but it has allowed me to get through some of the most trying things, whether it was financial difficulties, my divorce, or even the most recent paternity revelations that I've experienced. Learning to surrender myself to it allowed me to get through the healing process a whole lot sooner. So I'm hoping that sharing this piece of information will help someone. And if it does, please come back for our next talk, because we are going to go on to the next stages and how to get about healing. It won't happen overnight, but if you are consistent and you are intentional and we get that mindset together, like we spoke about some talks ago, the healing will come. So let me know what you think. Give me some feedback, and next talk we'll go a little bit deeper. Thank you again for joining us.